Yeah,
Starting the
it'd be
landing
good if
phase
you could have
now.
it up on the big screen.
Engine failure. Engine failure.
Oh no.
Okay,
What's happening?
AD,
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Doc, I'm about to
welcome
crash.
back to the stream. You are now live on air. How you feeling? Okay, so how's it going? Where are you up to now, AD?
Oh wow.
He's lost. He's lost in his own world.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
guys.
Yeah,
I'm just
he's
getting
in
used to the
virtual
environment.
reality.
I'm here.
Okay, cool. Right, I think we're set to go. So I guess the best thing for us to do in terms of talking is to first ask you guys kind of what it is you're intending to achieve and what it is that AD is currently experiencing right now.
AD currently experience our VR game Whitefall, set on the alien frozen planet Anu. He's playing as young scientist Aira Aqua and trying to survive extreme cold conditions.
Okay.
It's a survival exploration game. A narrative exploration game with survival elements. So the idea is that you have to explore and discover all the narrative elements and discover about the world, what happened to its people, where are they now, and while trying to survive the harsh environment, which is the cold. I don't know, I can't see where exactly he is right now, but I'm assuming he's in the first area, which is on top of a mountain.
What AD
Yeah,
is
I'm
right
in
now.
I'm in the ship. I'm just about exiting the ship. I'm going out the back of the door, and I've just seen this incredible alien vista in front of me, which is really quite cool.
So in this element, it's just teaching them how to use the controls, essentially. So there's an element on the controllers where it says, like, push this button to move forwards and to turn. It's just for people who haven't actually experienced virtual reality before to figure out how to actually move about.
Well, that's always a good thing like to consider. Not everyone playing your game has necessarily played your kind of game before, so it's really easy for people to just assume that everyone knows everything that they know. Whereas the reality is a lot of people would never have touched VR before, and even if they have, a refresher is always a good thing. So kudos there. So tell us where the idea came from. So you've got survival, exploration, and some horror as well.
Well, not really horror. If you're scared frozen to death, then well, yes, then it has some
There's
horror.
horror. You tell me now there's horror.
No.
No. You can relax. No jump scares.
I was just adding that in there, AD.
Mainly, we've started at the start of the year, and Mirka Kutna, one of our game artists, designed a world, an alien frozen planet, and we actually really liked it, and we wanted to make a sci-fi VR game. So it came mainly from her. And then we got deeper into the catastrophic movies, like The Day After Tomorrow. We've watched a lot of movies actually about freezing to death.
We call it research.
Yeah, we've researched. We've made
the
this
rest of the
deep
world
research.
may not understand, but sometimes you need to binge watch loads of movies. As
Yes,
research.
it's also bounded us as a team.
Yes.
This
Yeah.
research,
Yeah.
and that's mainly where the idea of the world came in. Then we started to trying out a lot of different things. Like initially, we thought about having like inventory system or having like an invisible monster chasing you, and then during the development, we just scoped to have a temperature mechanic. And having this sort of a survival element when you need to find a hot spot and also not to freeze to death.
Okay.
That's it.
Finding the balance between the narrative and the gameplay was one of the biggest things that we were struggling with, I think, throughout development. In the sense of, like, some people are like, no, we need way more gameplay elements and just cut all the narrative. Narrative doesn't matter. And we're like, no, it's a narrative game and narrative does matter.
Yeah.
And figuring out that balance was quite tricky in a sense. But yeah, because we also started off with the world, because we had a world building exercise over the summer, which is where we began.
Oh, so you actually used the world from the world building challenge
Yes.
for your game. You may be the first team that's ever actually done that. It's always our intention, because if you create a compelling world and it suggests a game, then that's a great way to start.
Well, it wasn't exactly easy.
No,
We wanted to
okay.
do it all
Cool.
we just wanted to follow the rules.
Yeah.
So we thought that we need to follow the rules, and that's why we pushed
Excellent.
ourselves through. It was extremely hard.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, the planning stage took ages.
Yeah.
So we probably won't do it again.
Yeah. So the next time you come to
Next
make a game,
time,
you're
no.
not doing it that way.
No. It's
Okay.
Gameplay first, mechanics first, world later.
Sure.
It's like starting from the end.
Yeah.
So yes, probably not the right way.
I tend to always try to push my teams and my students to kind of come up with some fun and engaging mechanics, and then start to build around that. Because then at least if everything else goes wrong, then you know you've got some fun in your game and you've got some interesting mechanics. But the idea of starting from a world is also really fascinating, because you can create a compelling place in which to make a game. But I would tend to agree with you. It's a harder place to start, because you have this wonderful world, and then you're like, well, what kind of game do we put in here? And that almost is harder than having nothing to begin with and just kind of playing around.
Yeah, that's mainly, I will agree, that's why our bolt looks great.
Yeah, it's why if you play it, there's a big sense of, wow, the world's amazing, which is why we went for a survival exploration. A narrative exploration, because it is mostly about the world and the narrative, because those we knew were the strongest going in.
Yeah.
But whereas the gameplay, which was a temperature system, which is essentially, I guess, the interesting part where you're trying to like not freeze to death, it took a lot longer to figure out and implement. And originally we had a whole invisible monster, like you were saying, and that we had to cut because we couldn't get it done in time. But I think it's gone all right. I think we've done well with what time we had.
Yeah, we've spent a lot of time of also optimizing everything for the Oculus Quest 2.
Yes.
We
What kind of limitations did that throw at you then?
massive limitation.
Yeah.
It was a real pain.
Yeah.
So probably not going to do it once again too.
Okay, so you're learning a lot of things that you don't want to ever do again, basically.
Well, yeah, we also learn a lot we do, because, for example, with virtual reality, we're all planning to do virtual reality again. And we want to make use of the virtual reality space more. Like something we discovered when we were doing, I think, 80s and now, the cliff scene, where you're, cave section, where you're going through a bunch of caves. You have to crouch down and go in between the gaps and use virtual reality to its fullest. Whereas, and that's something we want to try and do again, is try and use the actual virtual reality to its fullest, and do something that you can't do in 3D.
I'll tell you
really
what
want
though,
to push
guys,
for next year.
it's really not helping my claustrophobia being in here.
Yes, we got during the
It's,
expo, we got reports that people are actually getting really scared because
it's really quite realistic.
Yes.
But I love the
also game using the realistic art style.
Yeah.
Oculus didn't like that, but we've pushed ourselves to make it work and get this experience of being on the alien planet like in real life.
I will add to that with the Quest 2, because it's a mobile processor.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff, because when we were developing it was connected to a PC. So we'd create stuff like the snow deformation shader, where as you walk through snow, it deforms around the player. And it was really, really cool until you put it on the Quest 2 and it just crashes.
Destroyed everything.
It just does not work.
Yeah,
It's just
okay.
1 frame per second, horrible, makes you want to throw up. Many times through development, I've wanted to throw up.
Yeah.
Because of various things, like terrain was another big reason thing we had to scale back, and we ended up using a bunch of flat planes to make the mountains and stuff around it.
Yeah, it's a really interesting fact about our environment, that it's actually mostly a lie.
Yeah,
it's just straight lies.
Hey,
We're just lying.
Smart game development.
Yes, the feeling of the open world, it actually feels like it's massive. Especially, I think that and now in the desert, the snow desert, a lost city. We've played a lot with the scaling and making buildings looks extremely tall, like in real life skyscrapers. So. He's just fascinated by the size of it. So it's been a lot of testing and playing our game ourselves, and a lot of passion towards our
testing as well.
Yeah,
we actually went through the development process on following the meta now guidance. So we had a whole channel dedicated to playtesters, and we had registered playtesters who could get updates weekly and actually playtest the game.
Oh,
We've got
wow.
feedback from them quite
cool.
often.
That's
I
cool.
was going to ask if you've managed to get much in the way of player
Yeah,
feedback.
we did,
but-
I think. And also we brought in the headsets every now and then and got
Yeah.
put them on people and be like, yo, play this game.
Cool.
Yeah, it helped us also to reduce the motion sickness.
Yeah.
One of the feedbacks we've got
Yes.
during the expo was from the PlayStation VR
Yes.
developer who said that we did a great job of reducing the motion sickness.
Oh.
And it's also because we've play tested it like a lot. Almost every build. We've made builds weekly.
Yeah.
So every week we had play testers to
Wait, are
test
you
it.
telling me that you actually followed Agile 100%?
Yes, we had
Regular builds,
60
playtesting, stand-ups.
68 builds, I think.
68
Whoa,
one-off. I think magic
nice.
number.
Oh,
Yeah.
good work.
Yeah, it's
68, including the ones that failed, and we had to make another build.
Yeah.
Which happened quite regularly because you can't test a lot of the features until you make a build.
Yeah.
Because of the Quest 2 limitations on the actual headset.
Sure.
So we actually had probably more than average builds than most teams, I imagine.
yeah, I think we've pushed ourselves during this project,
Yeah.
especially that only 4 people in our team out of 14 had an experience in VR previously.
Oh
And
wow, that's
free.
Three.
No, for free programmers and you.
No, only 2 of them had made a VR game.
Oh yes, then even 3 person from
Bear
our
with us,
had an
audience.
experience.
A fight is breaking out.
It's always counting because we have a big team, okay?
Yeah,
It's-
yeah.
And also, yes, mainly a lot of us didn't have any experience, so it's been a
Wow, that
lot
was
of
a
learning.
challenge.
It's been a
You
challenge.
guys are nuts.
Yeah,
if you don't mind me
especially
saying.
with the level design.
Yeah.
It's just an understanding of the space and how the space works in the VR.
Sure.
So. Yeah, we've learned a lot, and for the next year,
Oh,
we
Yeah,
will
and-
blow your
and
minds.
Next time. So, what kind of things are you looking to do next time? Because you were talking about wanting to
Ooh.
use VR to its full instead of just making a game that happens to be in VR. So, what kind of things are you
so many
thinking?
ideas.
Oh,
currently,
okay.
we're at the stage where we've got a million ideas and we're just trying to prototype everything.
Sure.
So we want to create like really small, really quick and dirty prototypes and just see which ones are fun.
Yeah.
Because we want to prioritize the funness of it first.
And
And
so
then
you're doing it the other way around this
yes,
time.
we're doing it the other way around, making it fun,
Finally.
and then adding the world and everything around it afterwards.
Smart move.
That's the plan next year.
Yeah.
Also, the next year game probably will be using the environment storytelling to its fullest. So we plan to create a game with no text, just environment storytelling, which will be also a challenge. Especially for me as a narrative designer, but I think we will do it and it will be great. So yeah.
Well, I mean, you've done a great job with this game, even though you started off with essentially the wrong information and made yourselves go through a real trial to get to the end. You've come up with something amazing. So I guess the next time round,
Ooh.
you should
ready
be in
for
a
your
really
Star Wars
confident
moment.
position.
So I'd like to point out
Hang
that
on 1 second. 80's up to no good over here. What is he up to here?
I'm struggling to know. I have no idea where AD's at.
I'm on the credits.
Oh, you're on the credits?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You completed the game.
Yeah, woo! Made it, guys.
Got a lean on.
Wow.
Nice one.
There you go.
Okay.
Thank you ever so much.
You
Nice.
didn't throw up, and you didn't fall
Oh,
over.
they're coming down. Oh, the titles are falling on me.
I think it goes back and forth for the whole length of the credits music, which
Oh,
is like
okay.
3 minutes because we had an amazing audio student from Amata
Yeah.
who is working again with us next year, actually,
Oh,
on our
cool.
major project.
Okay. So that's one thing you are keeping about this year's
Oh, yes.
development.
Yes. The,
Yeah.
the audio and music we are very, very happy with,
Yeah.
I think.
Yes, I
Okay.
think also the Toby, the audio students, is also really proud of the work he produced.
Yeah.
It creates the right atmosphere and actually make complete the user experience.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad with that.
Yes. I feel like it's half of the whole experience is now just audio.
Yeah.
It's incredibly important, and I'm glad that we fully dived into it and
Yeah.
implemented it fully.
Oh, cool.
Even if FMOD did cause a million issues during development.
Yeah. So I'm just looking over at AD, just bopping his head
He
away
likes
here.
it. We will send him a link to the iTunes
Yeah.
to download it.
He's having a good time right now. Oh dear. So ideally, I'd get AD out so we could have a little chat about his
Yes, we
experience
will.
in there. But
If he will
he's-
let us.
he's, like I don't try and take anything off him just in case. All right, unstrap him.
Oh, yeah.
Hear us now?
Yeah.
There he is.
There- Oh. And back into the real world.
Back into the real world. Okay.
I hope I didn't make anybody sick.
No, we were having a nice little chat. Occasionally asking you questions and not getting any
I couldn't,
answers.
sorry
Yeah.
guys. I was
Yeah.
totally in the zone.
Yeah.
I was in the zone. I was in my happy world.
How do you
So-
find a narrative?
It was good. I could follow it. But I was doing my back in, crouching down all the time. No, I'm kidding,
Yeah.
no. But didn't help my claustrophobia whatsoever. But the
Yeah.
nice thing was it was really nicely lit. And it showed the way that I needed to progress through the actual level.
So nice guidance
Nice.
through lighting.
Nice lighting and guidance. Yeah.
That's really good. I think we spent a lot of time, especially the design team. George Chandler, who's not here right now, I know spent a lot of time on the caves, especially, and making sure that you knew where to go. And wherever there's a chance you could get lost, which we kind of was like, yeah, we'll let them get lost. It's a little bit of fun. Makes it seem a lot bigger than it actually is.
Yeah.
But I think the main point was this is the way to go, and making it so it's only one real route you can go is one thing that we, like, from the beginning knew we wanted to do. So felt like an open world, but really was just like not an open world. There's only one
Yeah.
real way you can
It's
go.
a lot of development was just making an illusion, because we understood from the start that open world now it's not enough of time,
yeah.
not enough of sources. So we thought about like lie an illusion, and
Yeah.
that actually worked. And Tamsin Page and George during the level design, they all like spent a lot of time making it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you got that really good sense of immersion in the actual world, yeah, which was really good. Yeah, and you
Because we
felt
started
as
from the world.
Yeah. Like it wasn't your
was-
choice, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, it was the intention all along. We did want to be. The idea was to make it so that you experience the world like
Yeah.
our intention. And so the fact that you say that is actually really, really nice to hear.
Yeah.
I think we're all quite very proud of this project and
Yeah.
look forward to how we progress in the
And you're
future.
going to do more?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, more VR next year.
Cool.
Yeah, and learning from a lot of the mistakes, or not necessarily mistakes, but trials. We'll call them trials.
Yeah.
So next
Starting
year,
with
virtual
mechanics
reality,
first.
open world, MMO, RPG,
Oh my
multiplayer, you know,
word.
metaverse.
Player-driven economy and
Yeah, the scope was a real struggle at first, but yeah, we've learned a lot. So during the next year, we hope we will just left you mesmerized by the game.
yeah. So, can you give us any hints as to kind of like the ideas you're coming up with, the kind of
There's
mechanics you're
honestly
looking at?
so many, we don't know where it's going to head yet.
Okay,
But
so
we've got it ranges from farming to having a zip in your body to
Having a teddy bear body to unzip yourself and put stuff inside, or
Really?
being locked inside a
Interesting.
space with a lot of stairs that
tea
should lead you
cafe,
to nothing.
serving magical creatures in a cafe, making tea.
Who knows?
okay, so you
We've got
weren't lying
many
when you said
different ideas.
you have a lot of different ideas, so
Ideas.
you can't really say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair
But
enough.
for sure, except fun mechanics and
Yeah.
environment storytelling, beautiful art for sure. The art
Interesting.
team is strong.
Interesting onesie concept.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we came out with it watching the
Nine.
Nine movie on one of our team gatherings.
It was research for apocalyptic scenarios.
Of
Yeah.
course.
So-
We're all big on research here at the Games Academy. Many things that need to be researched. I think later on this evening, me and Adi are going to be researching Apex Legends.
We are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah. So, you know, we're big.
I'll
big
be
on-
doing
big on
very
research.
badly, and Rich will be nailing it.
I mean, you know, I didn't want to say anything, but yeah, that's probably right. That's probably
Yes.
right.
You know
it.
I would just like to give a big shout out to the Whitefall team as well. Like the rest
Yeah.
of the team, we all like love each other in the sense of like, and I glad that we're all working together again next year.
Cool.
Yes,
And yeah.
the point why this game went so successful is the team bonding we had. We
Yeah.
spent a lot of time just talking with each other, communicating, and building this nice team environment to
That's
work
key.
in. So we all were really, like, every time we come to the studio practice, we're really glad to work with each other. And also during the Easter break, we couldn't like just stop working together. So we spent like
That's
time
great.
just communicating, making like small changes and chatting. So yes, that's why the game's successful mainly.
So top
Yeah.
tip there is just establish good lines of communication.
Yes, and have
work at team
Scrum
bonding.
yes, Scrum bots and having weekly team research sessions.
Yeah. I think there's a lot to be said for that, especially in the climate we've just been experiencing, where there's been so much isolation. If you're in a team, it makes sense to just get together and do inverted commas research. Sometimes it's legitimately research. Other times you're just watching things and hanging out, but you just don't know where inspiration will come from.
Yes,
So
true.
It's very true.
doing things as a group and kind of getting to know each other a little bit more helps generally, but it also means that those activities could spring a bunch of different ideas and kind of inspire you. So yeah, I think it's a good shout, and it shows that your bonding has definitely helped.
Will
you're
really
a
help
good
you
team
next
who
really
year.
want,
helps.
Yeah, it
who
really
want
helps.
to work together and can talk things through. It's so critical because it gets hard. Like it's a lot of work, and there's pinch points that are just very stressful. So
Yeah.
the one thing you need in those situations are people that you can talk to, not fall out with, and
Yeah.
resolve issues. And when you're feeling stressed, you can just talk to people in your team. So so you got a head start essentially.
Take note, everybody.
Take note, AD says.
Definitely. I think that's the most
Yeah.
important part of
Yes.
the whole process.
Yeah, without a good team connection, it's impossible to make a good game. So
I would have to agree with you there.
yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I guess we should probably get back in the studio.
Yep.
Get back to more conventional sit down at the
Yes.
computer desk. And
And I can hear you all.
this has been fun though. I really appreciate you guys
Yeah,
coming along
thank you
today
for playing.
and
Thank you for
um,
playing.
Great. Thanks very much,
getting
guys.
AD in there. And yeah, best of luck next year.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Watch this space, I think is the thing to say. Yeah, I'll be really intrigued to see some of your early prototypes. So
Yeah, we will
Yes.
show you.
As
We might,
yeah.
we might make a compilation of like
Yeah,
all the different
backstage.
prototypes to be like, yeah,
That would be
here's,
cool.
here's different ideas.
But check it out upon the itch page and
Yep.
and give comments and feedback onto all the teams that are showing today. So
yeah, so anyone who's interested and has VR at home, jump on Itch and grab your game.
Yes, join our site in Discord.
And
absolutely.
join the
So-
Discord, yeah, for regular playtesting. And then you might get to play some of the crazy mechanics that are coming soon
Yes.
to a VR headset
Yes.
near you. Right, brilliant. Thanks,
Okay,
guys.
thank you
very
very
We'll
much.
jump back in now.